Hello YouTube and YouTube comrades, TemnoTsar here with my very first video game review. Now, when I do my video game reviews, I'm going to do it off of 5 topics. The first is soundtrack, the second is graphics, the third is controls, the fourth is gameplay, and the fifth is the storyline. Now, not all games I play have a defined storyline, but I'm going to try to define the game by its storyline. If whatever I see on the screen, I'm going to try to imagine what the storyline behind it is, but that's if I do those. However, for this video game review, if you haven't noticed in the title or in the clip art, the very first game review I'm going to do is Beyond Earth. Now, a little background behind my experiences with Beyond Earth. I am doing a Let's Play of Beyond Earth right now. So far, it's not going the way I wanted it to go. I'm kind of noobing it up right now, but they added a lot of new things to Beyond Earth that wasn't in the original Civilization game, so I'm kind of learning as I go. Other than that, I am doing some behind-the-scenes gameplay of it so I can get a little better at it, but so far it's been kind of shaky. But anyway, without further ado, let's get the 5 topics. The first topic I want to talk about is the soundtrack. Now, when I talk about soundtrack, I'm not just talking about the music. I'm also talking about the voiceover, the acting. I was kind of let down by it. The music was great, don't get me wrong. I don't know that much about the music because I haven't really played that much of it. I think I've only put in like 12 hours of gameplay. But the music was great. I don't have a problem with the music. The voice acting. I was kind of hoping, because I know in past games they've got a big voice actor. I know, I want to say it was the third one. They had the guy who plays Spock come in and do voice acting, or it might have been the fourth one, or the fifth one. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been forever since I played those games. I need to go back and do a Let's Play of those. I was kind of hoping they'd do the same here, have someone like William Shatner or the guy who played Morpheus from The Matrix or someone like that come in and do the voice acting, because that'd be really cool. Science fiction is known for these guys, or they've been known for good science fiction characters, but they didn't do it. Instead, whenever you get like a new technology or something like that, you get a kind of a weird description from one of the sponsors, and to me, I don't know, I wish they would have got someone well known for the voice acting. So I'm going to have to give that a 4. Reason being is the voice acting. The voiceover for it was not that good. The units were iffy because they really don't say much. It's not like whenever you play Civilization 5 or any of the below that they say something in their native tongue. Typically it's move out or yes sir, or things like that. In this one, I really didn't hear a lot of that. I just kind of hear my units moving. They don't really say anything, which makes the units seem a little off-putting to me. The alien noises, though, were really good. I don't know how they got those. They probably have like some generic sounds that they used for those, but they were pretty decent. Well, speaking of the aliens, that brings me to number 2, the graphics. The graphics for this game were actually really good. I have it set on the lowest settings, and you can check out the playlist below. I'm going to have that link for the game. But the graphics are surprisingly really good, even on the lowest settings. I was really taken away with the trees, the plants, the landscaping. It really makes Civilization 5 look bad when it comes to graphics, I think, personally. I really liked what they did with the resources. The resources looked amazing, especially with the science fiction feel. Unit graphics were a little blurry to me. I think they could have fine-tuned them a little bit more, but the alien graphics were amazing. I loved the coloration of the aliens and all that, so I have to give that a 5 for graphics. The third one is controls. Well, I can't really say much for controls. It's a turn-based game. Pretty much you use the mouse. You might have a few hotkeys here and there. I don't use the hotkeys. I don't need to. I use my mouse and my arrow keys. That's pretty much the only controls you need. So I can't give it a bad rating for controls because they're simple, they're basic, and a 5-year-old can grasp it. So I have to give it a 5. Ironically enough, 5-year-old with a 5. Can't complain about the graphics. The gameplay, number 4. We're getting down to the fine-tuning part. The gameplay, definitely like it. I do know sometimes when I play it, my computer lags a little bit, so there'll be like little black squares on there, but I've always had that issue with Civilization 5, so I kind of figured I'd have that with Beyond Earth. I do like the gameplay. I really like the quest mechanic that kind of adds to the storyline. So the gameplay mechanics and the storyline kind of go hand in hand, but that's how it goes with all Civilization games. You make a storyline, and that's your gameplay. So I like the quest. I like when you do the quest, it actually continues on. It doesn't just randomly stop, or it doesn't work for all buildings. It works for all buildings of specific types. You'll see me do a few quests in my Let's Play, so that'll probably better explain the chaos that I just said right there. But I do like the gameplay. The whole game is pretty much quick-paced. It's not... I mean, it is a turn-based, so you only do so much per turn, but it does have a time limit. I wish they took that out. I like the fact that, you know, it makes sense for the storyline, which I will talk in the next and last section, but I don't like the whole running out of time thing. I wish that you could turn that off. I do like the victory conditions. I like how you can follow along with the victory conditions and see what you need to do to the next step. I'm glad that they did that because so far it's been challenging and confusing. I wish they would have explained a little bit better, or at least, you know, I don't know. It was just, I did one victory on one of my off screens, and I didn't know I had to click on the gate to click on the refugees, so I sat there for like 20 turns waiting for a refugee to randomly pop up, but you actually had to produce them yourself. So I'm glad I looked that up online, because if not, I would have lost, because I was like one turn away from the final turn. But the gameplay is good. I like the fact that you can manipulate the cities a little bit more. I don't like, however, the worker unit. In this game, if you automate your worker, the worker's kind of derpy, and they build mostly like farms or mines, and they really ignore connecting cities. I have never had an automated worker connect my cities for me with the monorail or the roads, so that kind of irritates me a little bit. And also I've noticed that they tend to ignore resources sometimes. I'll have a resource right next to my city, and they'll go build everything else before they go focus on the resource, and I'll have the technology for it. So the workers are a little derpy, but with that being said, I prefer to control my workers. I know in my Let's Play I didn't control them, but that was for time references. I definitely know when I do my second Let's Play of it, that way I can show the world that I'm actually good at a game. I'm not going to let my workers automate. I'm going to control them, so it'll probably be a little bit longer, but definitely going to be controlling them that time. However, with all the negatives and all the positives, I have to give the gameplay a 5. Out of all the Civilization games, this one, gameplay-wise, was probably one of the better ones. I do like Civilization 5. Civilization 4 will always be my favorite, though, and that's just because of one of the mods that I had for it, the Rise and Fall of Nations. But definitely up there with, I'd have to say it's tied for second place for my favorite, next being 5. So I like the gameplay. It was really a gamble on their part, I think, because they took out the whole historical references and made it into science fiction. So it was a gamble, and it paid off. Now the final part, storyline. Any of you out there who have played Civilization before knows that the storyline is the game, and the game is the storyline. You tell your own story, your own civilization, your own colonies, things like that, and you make history as it, you know, turns from year 1 to year 2000. And in this game, it's no different. The quests help you develop your storyline. You get to say your own little story. not only that, but now you have the victory conditions, the affiliations, and it all kind of tells a story. If you guys don't know, Beyond Earth is set in the distant future where mankind no longer can survive on Earth. They have never really said what happened or what set off everything, but Earth is dying and mankind wants to survive, so they send sponsors out into space to try to find a new planet to colonize. I do hope in future references for their expansions. Now, they have already said that they're going to have expansions for it, and it's Civilization. So obviously they'll probably have 2 to 3, because I know in the past they've always had 2 to 3 expansions. I don't think Civilization 3 had any. I don't know that for sure, but I definitely know Civilization 4 and 5 both had 2 expansions. So, no, I think Civilization 5 had 3, actually. I might be lying on that. I'd have to relook, and I don't feel like doing that right now. So, you know Civilization Beyond Earth is going to have expansion packs, and I'm hoping that they introduce more sponsors, which they've already said that they will, but I don't want it to be where you can pick 2 different sponsors from the same group. I'm hoping they actually make different sponsors. That'd be really interesting. I also hope they introduce more victory conditions, because I think that'd be really good to have more than just one victory condition for each affiliation. Maybe have 2 different ones. Maybe even throw in, I don't know, but have more victory conditions. That'd be a lot of it fun. Each expansion gives you 1 or 2 more victory conditions or something like that. I do like the storyline, though, where you are mankind trying to survive on an alien world, and you have to develop your civilization to survive. And you have 3 different ways you can do that. And I'm not going to explain the whole game through the storyline, but it's really good and it's really creative, so I have to give that a 5. Now that you know my score, I gave soundtrack 4 due to the voice acting. I really wish that they would have got a big actor to do a voice acting again. The graphics were 5, and that's just me basing it off of all the other Civilization games. Now, granted, there are games out there with a lot better graphics, obviously. But I have to give that one a 5 because I'm basing it off the other Civilization games. Controls, basic, I have to give it a 5. Gameplay, again, 5. And storyline, a 5. You'll probably see me give a lot of my games really high ratings. Definitely giving this one a 4.8 out of all total, just because the game is really good. And at first I didn't think it would be that good, but it really won me over. And I hope you all enjoy my playthroughs of it, because there will definitely be more in the near future. 4.8 game, I highly recommend it to you all. If you love strategy games and love Civilization, definitely go out and buy it, because it's definitely one of the better Civilization games. So that's my review of the gameplay. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comments below. If you have an argument where I might have overlooked something in my review, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I will always respond to every single comment. I've proven that in my other reviews of like my desk, my mouse pad, things like that. I will always reply. I don't care if I have 1,000 subscribers. I literally make time in my day to reply to each and every single one of you. So if you want to start a war and tell me why Beyond Earth is so bad, me and you can debate about it. So without further ado, YouTube comrades, as always, rock on.